Coming to us live from the coastal city of Mombasa, they're engaging the president-elect of World Council of Civil Engineers. Many thanks for that discussion and also for their partnership that they have with the corporation as well. Well, indeed, we are on our interactive segment, as I mentioned earlier before, in regards to e-commerce trends, and especially in the light of the end of year, because we everywhere, schools and companies talk about end of year celebration, and so they cut their prices, talk about Black Friday, talk about Black November, all this especially in the e-commerce sector. Allow me now to rope in Vinod Goel, who is the regional CEO of Jumia East Africa. Vinod, good afternoon.
Thank you very much, Troy.
And happy Diwali. What's a coincidence?
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. And we've heard of Black November, Black Friday, in terms of many companies that want to at least get something before the year end. Let me take you back to our economy. Are you, as a very big company in the continent and in the world, are you feeling the heat, and how have you adjusted in regards to this, because you're still offering these offers?
Yeah, so definitely we feel the heat. We understand the context is tough. However, it is very counterintuitive. What we are seeing is that on the one side we have the tough economy, on the other hand side, on Jumia and on e-commerce, we are seeing a very positive trend. Now this might be related because we are trying our best to make sure that Jumia and e-commerce works towards the needs of the people. And hence, when we see the conditions are tough, when we have the taxes going high, when we have the high inflation, people are adapting e-commerce more and more simply because it has the affordability angle. So if you are in a town outside Nairobi or inside Nairobi, and you're looking for something which costs you 20,000 shilling, you are able to find better varieties of the same products in 30%, 40%, 20% cheaper on Jumia. And this is how the tough conditions are helping the growth of e-commerce and Jumia.
Yeah, and I'm looking at how phones and internet coverage, and especially in East Africa region, Kenya specifically, has improved e-commerce in the country. But unfortunately, that has not improved the infrastructure. How are you working around that to ensure that those people in very rural areas who can access smartphones, but looking at the infrastructure is quite challenged?
Absolutely.
How are you addressing this?
Yes, I think it's changing an infrastructure is a much more tedious task. What we have seen in smartphones, if you see in the last 5 years, the average price of smartphone has gone down from around 26,000 shilling. Now you can get even at a 8,000 shilling a decent smartphone, a very good quality smartphone. This is thanks to the e-commerce and players like us who bring source directly, the goods directly from the source to the consumers, and hence you cut a lot of supply chain inefficiencies and the costs and the margins, because we work directly with the source of the goods and bring them finally to the final consumer. And secondly, there has been a lot of technical advances in smartphone market. So the price of the smartphones have gone down. Now changing the infrastructure is definitely a bigger task.
And of course, every e-commerce company has to think about how to rope in more customers, and of course, how to rope in more vendors as well.
Correct.
How are you working with vendors to ensure that they also benefit from this? Because you talked about cutting the supply chain to make it a little bit lean and mean, so that maybe the benefit translates to the customer.
So I think on the customer side, there are two things happening. Of course, Jumia is widening the net, and we are onboarding more and more sellers. But I think the wheel has started to turn. You know, the word of mouth is a very powerful tool, where the sellers are finally seeing a huge advantage of expanding their market from 1 to 2 kilometers to whole Kenya overnight. So if I'm somebody selling shoes in my shop in Nairobi, my radius would be 2, 4, 5, 7 kilometers, right? But the moment I get on Jumia, whole Kenya is my market. Even people on Lamu or Garissa or Kericho or Molo are able to buy my shoes. So I think that is one thing happening, and the vendors are themselves spreading the word of mouth that if you need to grow your business, Jumia is the platform.
And in the last, let me be very honest, in the last more or less like 10 years, you've really scaled up because, as I mentioned, there's internet, there's the availability of smartphones, and of course your business has grown in that period. Well, how have you been addressing the challenges of scaling up? Because in everything that you scale up, there are a number of challenges that come in, and especially in the East African region.
Correct. So I think the macros are with us. The smartphone penetration, the internet penetration, the cost of internet, the cost of moving money, and then our young population in Kenya, all these macros are supporting us that e-commerce is growing pretty fast. Now, the biggest challenge, and I was recently on a road trip from here to Kisumu. I spent 17 hours on the roads, stopping in every market and every pickup station of Jumia. And to be honest, the biggest complaint I had from our customers was that, why you are not in our town? Why you're not in my city? I still have to take a boda for 3 kilometers to come to Jumia pickup station. So I think our challenge is to cope up with the growth. And we are trying our best. We have recently increased our presence from 260 pickup stations to 300, so covering 60 more cities. And it's a continuous effort we are putting. The more and more support we get from our sellers and more demand we get from our customers, we are going to cover much more areas in Kenya.
Now, and maybe to crunch the figures, maybe more or less, how many vendors do you have in the country? Because there are so many products that you sell that are locally available, but there are some that have to be imported.
Correct. So in terms of vendors, we have around 18 to 20,000 active vendors. So we have many more vendors than that. We can't even find a number. But the active ones, those who are selling continuously on Jumia, is in the range of 18 to 20,000. Now, more than 95% of these sellers are local sellers, and hence a handful of sellers are international sellers, and hence we are complementing the assortment on Jumia, that you have the goods which are available here, now available to whole Kenya, not only Nairobi, and then you have the goods which are not available in Kenya, are also accessible to Kenyans.
Unfortunately, we are out of time, but I would like you to touch on what can customers expect, and especially in the Black November and also in the years to come. What else are we expecting to be buying from e-commerce companies like Jumia?
So this Black Friday is in principle is the similar Black Friday, but it is much bigger on the scale. We have done a lot of work across the category. So if you are looking to buy anything in terms of appliances, in terms of phones, in terms of anything for your home, beauty category, fashion, everything is at a very, very good discount. So 1st of November, midnight of 31st till 30th of November, we have millions of products which are on very good discounts. So I invite all the people to download Jumia application, go on Jumia website and benefit from the deals. Now this Black Friday. The benefit of Black Friday will continue in the December as well. December is also festive season for all of us. Christmas is there, New Year is there. So all the deals we secure for Black Friday for November will definitely continue till December. And this is thanks to all our partners. And lastly, in the coming years, I think what is changing is that as we are growing in terms of volume, we are able to reduce our shipping costs. We are able to reduce the margins on the products. We are able to go faster. So if it was taking me 5 days to go to Garissa to deliver a product, now it is 3 days. And the more we grow those areas, we're gonna be delivering in 1 or 2 days. So I think watch out, Jumia is growing, e-commerce is growing. Thanks to all the support, and take benefit.
Maybe 30 seconds, how are you dealing with the complaints from customers? Because sometimes you find somebody has been shipped something that was not exactly what he ordered.
Yes. So there is a very strong control on the quality of the products, and we are very mindful of that. There are two kind of controls on that. One is the physical human control, which is that everything which enters in Jumia's warehouse is being sample checked, right? The number two, which is we are working more and more, is the automatic one. So if somebody sells an inferior quality product on Jumia, the customer gives us a feedback in two ways. Either the customer returns the product with a feedback, or the customer gives us a review on the website, right?
Yes.
And these two factors automatically go on the seller center score. So there is a score of a seller. And if your score goes down, so the moment it goes down slightly lower than 5,
yes,
your items will start to be demotivated on the platform. So if, let's say, you are selling shoes, your shoes are coming on the first page, but if your score is not getting better, it's going to go on the third, fourth page, and customers will less likely to find your products. Then finally, after a threshold, you will be blacklisted automatically by system. And I think this automatic check is what is our machinery about, and it flushes out all the inferior products out of the system.
Thank you so much, Vinod Goel, who is the regional